Jesus. Intended to lock them and everything.
Live from North Hollywood's Art District in the land of make-believe, it's the Saturday Shakedown. Tonight, we dust off the studio with absolutely no agenda whatsoever. Plus, that Porsche girl and life with Daria. Thank you for being with us while we figure this out.
Yeah, this is Ryan. That was awesome. We are figuring this out. It's all a thing. Good job. Oh, wait, shoot, I forgot. I got a button for that. It's so funny. There it is.
Oh, look.
What?
There we are.
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this. It's really more for us. This, for sure, is a technical run-through, really. We're calling it a shakedown show because we're going to go through everything. Can you hear me and everything?
It's a little quiet.
How about now?
Yes, I can hear you.
You're so funny. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Looks like we've moved to a larger spot. We've moved to our big studio. Here we are in the big studio, finally.
You're a genius at what you do.
Finally come true. I can hear everyone from high school in the back of my head right there.
Yeah, but you're really good at it.
Oh, Mrs. Ryan. Thank you for saying that. First of all, welcome back to you. Welcome back to everybody else, if anybody is indeed here. But for the sake of us doing our work, welcome back to everyone else. Oh, God. Well, somebody didn't do that work. Here. Go ahead. You go ahead and fire it up. Talk about anything you want or nothing at all. Don't
Hello,
mind me.
everyone.
Don't mind me.
So good
This
to
is
see
fine.
you.
This
And
is fine.
my gorgeous husband's face.
Just be a second.
Well, I do want to know what everyone's reading and watching, because all I see is food pictures and I'm over sourdough.
That's a very good point. Because we're live, so we can actually check in with people.
Yeah, so chime in. I want to know what everyone's reading and watching. I need suggestions.
Good grief. Did that do anything? Nope. Worse. What do you? How does it feel in here?
It feels awesome in here.
You want to talk about it at all? What's different that you notice? Well, just looking around. Oh, that's better.
The lighting is killer as always, but I feel the quiet of it. It's quiet in here, which does not translate on screen.
Well, I don't know. I bet it might. I bet if we watch this back, I bet it might, because I noticed levels wise and everything else, everything cleaned up. The video cleaned up quite a bit because of the digital noise that went away, and the audio will clean up because it used to have to. These wonderful high quality microphones, the Telefunken, our wonderful sponsor, and Tony and Bree and everybody else down there at Telefunken were nice enough to sponsor us. This wonderful gear had to constantly fight over the fan noise of all of those par cans. When it was one, it was doable. When it was two, it was like, oh, okay, well, you can kind of hear it now for sure. Thought I did before, but now I'm pretty sure. And 3, 4, 5, 6, however many of them there are in here now.
We have a bunch.
It felt like a machine room here. So In addition to that, we have redone a bunch of cameras as well, so the whole picture, I think, should be a little bit better. And
crisper.
Ryan, here you are. Yes, that's the idea. And also, we did not used to have the capacity to do live at this level. Our show, basically, for your purposes and anybody else, it used to look however it looked after a bit of post-production. And people always said, do you edit the show? Obviously, I would always say we don't edit the show, and we didn't. But what we did do was a lot of polish. I polished the turd. And so it was necessary, in my mind, it was necessary for the product to go out, considering where we're sitting and all. But so I would do color correction and things like that and made it look, honestly, I made it look how it looked live. It's just that our iPhones were quite old and they just didn't capture what people saw live. And after hearing it from enough people, how surprised they were when they got here. Yeah, it's small, whatever, but how cool it was, how nice it was. Oh, it doesn't translate on television. And then more recently when that Porsche girl was here, interesting, we're going to speak to her in a few minutes, but when Laura was here, she was like, it's much better in person, almost like you should do something about that.
Well,
like, why wouldn't you? Hello. So we did. So we got some new cameras and we got some new lighting and we got a lot of help, some financial help from some people I think you might be talking about later or not. I don't know if they want to be named.
No, I think we're going to stay quiet for now.
But we got some help from some very supportive folks who like what we're doing. And there is our first. There we go. Here she is. I think it's that Porsche girl. And the last time we did this was for that Festival of Speed. Oh, look at this. She looks beautiful. I think I can do this right. And do I switch it sideways or do you do that? Oh, I did it. Hello. Now let's see. Give me 1 second because the only thing I didn't think about was the weakest part last time. Here we go. There you are. Now, we were just going over some studio changes that we've done, and one of which includes camera work to see you. So give me a moment, but hello to Mrs. Ryan and all that stuff.
Hello.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Great. What have you been doing?
I just got back from the beach.
Really?
I was seated about 30 feet from everybody, and it's a zoo down here. It's the second time I've been in 8 weeks, and it's pretty terrible. Like, people are not social distancing at all.
Are they open yet? Is that what I hear? I can't tell.
Well, it never really closed. They say that it was closed, but the cops drive by. It's just normal. There's nothing being enforced. But, so I just sit far away.
Nice. Is it busy?
It's so crowded. I'm going to post some pictures of it because it's insane. Everybody's going to die.
You seem to have gotten some sun at least while you were there. Your color is excellent.
Oh.
Considering we're all
Good.
inside. I don't know. We finally got some sun the other day and we're both totally red in the face.
Yes, and your hair looks lighter. Good job.
I've been sitting on the deck too, just getting a little bit of vitamin D. But that's what I did for the 7 weeks because I didn't want to go to the beach because I didn't want it to get closed, and then it did, and everyone panicked, and it never took effect. It seems like no one's even paying attention to it. Which is not right.
Yeah, no, we noticed that the other day when we were out and about. It kind of there was a lot of people with no masks and stuff. Usually there's. I'm specifically up at Newcomb's. Usually, at least the small group that comes, their mass, their distance. It seems like once the masses descend, all bets are off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was like status quo with people sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like people are relaxing a lot, and we're just gonna see either the numbers will go up or they won't. So I guess we'll see. I don't want to be a test subject though.
No. I was having the conversation with Hunziker about it the other day, Nicholas Hunziker, and he's like, look, we're staying in because at the end of this, no matter what happens, I'll know what I did. And it's like, that's a really good point. Just from a conscience place, where do you want to stand?
I even felt guilty today just being a part of the numbers because, no one is social distancing. They're all like my neighbors. Everyone's all clustered together. We were just sitting alone like an island. But I'm happy that the people I'm hanging out with that are, in my specific street, they stand 15, 20 feet away from me, and we can interact, but we just don't cluster, you know.
Yeah, well, I love the thing you guys do where you're in your alleyway. I guess all the garages are open, and they all hang out in lawn chairs and stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
And they do like this. Is it a cocktail hour or is it?
I mean, isn't every hour a cocktail?
It is
Is
now.
there a set time though, or is it just kind of one person does it, one person goes out, and then everybody's out there once the music starts? Or
It's a lot of them are young mommies, so they it depends on some have twins, and so it's kind of crazy. But they all around 5 o'clock descend. They're in the alley right now, waiting for me.
Oh, that's okay. So this is awesome.
No, don't worry.
No, I was gonna. Oh gosh, I was gonna say maybe we can get a chance to see them. But where are you right now? That looks like this. You look like you're at Burke Williams.
Oh yeah, I just went to a Burke Williams. I'm in my little outdoor patio in my front yard.
This is your front yard?
Yeah, it's like we live at the beach, so we don't have yards. We have like areas. So
Right.
This is our little couchy area.
Yeah, it's really nice though.
Yeah. It could be better, but it's.
Oh, I get it because there is no backyard. The backyard is the alley where the cars and where the cocktail hour is.
Yeah, these were all houses that were made for like just people coming to the beach, and they were like second homes, and now everyone's taking little stamps of land and building these big houses on these stamps of land, and so that's what's going on here. But
You're keeping your stamp.
it's nice. We live by we live by the beach, so we have a good life. You know, I was saying we're so lucky because we can actually go outside. I have a friend in New York, and she's stuck in a building, and
Oh
you know,
gosh.
you know, cold weather and all that. And we're complaining. Like they're like, what are the surfers going to do? I'm like, they're going to survive. Come on. You know, they're not being called to war. It's crazy. Like they're going to be really moody. I'm like, oh, poor babies.
They'll make it. They'll be okay.
They'll survive.
Well,
Although I have to say, when Lee doesn't surf, he's a little more. I'm like, you should go swim. You should go out in the water.
What about you guys? I mean, what have you been doing? Have you been going to work, or are you holed up at home?
No, I'm like a baby veal. Like I just been in like one area, and I walk about 120 steps a day. I mean, I'm just turning into a little soft little lamb, and then or a little deer, and so yeah. But I just got called back to work with some of my clients, and we just mask up, and it's pretty brief. We do the fittings really quickly, and with one person in the room, and social distancing and masks and stuff. A funny story.
Save it for another time. No,
Please.
please, we need comedy these days, please.
Okay, so during the shutdown, we have a really nice place that I work at, and I have a really nice dressing room because I fit clothing, and so I dress in and out of clothing and stuff, and I leave my slippers in there because that's sort of just to have something on my feet, and like a homeless person was living in our offices, and it's a giant, like it's 40,000 square feet. It's a really big, really nice place. It's a great place to squat.
Yeah.
And I came back, I'm like, where are my slippers? And I just got a picture of them. The cops or whatever took pictures of him fleeing the scene, and he was wearing my slippers. I was like, I don't need them back. I'm good. Thank you.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have to send you the picture. It's pretty funny.
You have to. I want to see the slippers. That's hilarious.
He had like my boss's, it's not really my boss, my client's umbrella, and then one of the girls' sweaters on, and my slippers, and he's carrying like 2 blankets from the showroom. It was just really funny.
I love it.
How does this feel compared to the Festival of Speed? Because this isn't really a show. This is more of like a technical rehearsal that we're just putting out there. This feels to me much more natural than it did when we tried to do it the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you guys did great, and I thought it was just fun that just having a bunch of different people call in and
Oh, sorry. I meant like from a technical standpoint. Like at least we can see you now. I couldn't really see or hear you last time. Maybe the Wi-Fi's better
really?
too. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you could see me. I didn't know. I was moving the camera around like this, so I'm really trying to hold it still.
Oh,
I
that's
was like, wow.
totally that was it. So you've just gotten better at it over the break.
I noticed that I just kept. hands with the phone, just like this.
Because we all talk with our hands, right?
Yes, and I really do. So you guys you're going up to your breakfast stuff up in Newcomb's. Did you get a chance to do that? I know a couple of people were doing it.
That's all we have been doing, as a matter of fact. We were talking about whether or not maybe Malibu tomorrow, which would be the first time we had both done that in, I mean, the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
went
been a
one
while.
time in the beginning because I was out for toilet paper or something. And I think I was like, all right, I'm going to come back with some muffins. But I didn't stay or anything, brought breakfast back. That was at the very, very beginning. So what is this whole thing's 2 months now, right?
Yeah, I know. It's actually going by so fast, I can't believe it.
Yeah, I wrote the date here. By the way, tonight is, everybody else, tonight is Saturday, May 16th.
Jeez Louise.
Our last show was with Paul Provenza on St. Patrick's Day. So 2 months ago.
Jeez.
It's crazy.
It yesterday and forever ago.
Yeah, it's
Like
crazy.
it could be either one.
In answer to your question, we have been doing Newcomb's, and it's the only thing we have been doing, and it's been great. And that is what I was talking about before. It is great, but I do feel like this week it was a little bit of, they opened the floodgates and.
Yeah.
It's not open for food, so it's really just community and people that gather and talk and
People who
hang
go
out.
and bring their own trash out when they come,
Yeah, and this week was more like mass exodus of people that showed up, and
This
it's
is
like,
the only cars and coffee in town.
and it's not that we don't support gatherings that aren't encouraged, so we don't do that. But it's a weird energy out there.
Yeah, that said, everybody who did come was wonderful and awesome. Like, there was no disrespect or anything like that. Everybody was really cool. And in fact, it was really nice to see different groups out. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like
true.
The group of, I'm going to call them the old guys, but the awesome old hot rods that came up and
I
all
was
that
going to
stuff.
ask you about them.
Super,
So
super cool stuff, in addition to just all our Porsche folk. It was kind of nice.
The
It's
guy,
nice seeing people, to be honest with you. It's even from a distance waving,
Yeah.
from a football field away. It's nice
it
seeing
means
people
a
you know.
lot when you can wave at
That's
someone
what I
you
feel.
know.
It's like my girls, we've kind of saved each other through this, just to be able to see each other every couple nights and sit out and just chat, and we can still interact with each other and be safe and all that. So we're really lucky. We're not battling something worse than. I mean, this is terrible, but we're lucky we're not at war or something crazy,
Yes, I do, and I agree with you. Do you know anyone personally who has either, gotten it or, God forbid, passed away?
Well, besides my grandparents, but they didn't get COVID, but they were affected in the way that we couldn't attend funerals. So my grandfather died, and then my grandmother died 16 days later, and she didn't even know he had passed away because she was in a home and we hadn't told her yet.
Ugh.
So it's like they knew, they went together. I was right with it because I felt, they were older and very, very, very old. And he passed away, and he was the chief of police in his town, so they did a really nice funeral for him where they socially distanced, and they did the salute for him and had all the fire department and the police department doing like a sort of parade with social distancing, and it was pretty nice. But my grandmother still didn't know, and then because we couldn't go in and tell her face to face and make sure she was going to be okay, she's kind of losing it a little bit, so she never found out and then passed away 16 days later. It's crazy. Kind of beautiful though, in a way. I mean, I figure that they weren't having the quality of life that they had before, so
Yeah.
at least they kind of went together at the same time, and no one had to lose the other because she didn't know.
That's so nice. My grandparents had literally the opposite story in that my grandmother had, not dementia yet, but Alzheimer's. Boy, yeah, I guess I'm going to get it.
Yay!
Woo, runs in the family. For 10 years, and she passed away in 2007. And then my grandfather, just from COVID, I mean, he was 96 years old, but got COVID at the DAV hospital. And I think we were talking about this on the phone, was right after you just went through the same exact thing. So I don't know about we didn't have the whole, yours is much more poetic with the whole, like one goes and then the other one does. It's just kind of how I would. I hope you and I hate to say it, but I hope you and I get a blowout and go flying off the cliff together. I mean, just
so.
because it's together.
Thanks.
Hate to be so specific.
It's more bothersome when people are having. What did you say?
I said I hate to be so specific. I'm just kidding. Like I really thought about it.
That song by, is it The Cure or The Smiths? double-decker bus.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Bus.
Some friends of ours say, Mr. Chainsaw Juggler, like, well, what's going to go wrong there? I don't know what I was thinking about there, but it's a weird ass time, and it seems to be like there's a split between people who say, yeah, this is a big thing and you should take it seriously, and people who are like, no, it's not real at all. You're an idiot for wearing a mask.
Yeah, and the two camps are so strong where it's like they think you're such an idiot for thinking one thing and you think they're an idiot. And it's a really terrible time, I think, in America because there's such a divide, and it's a shame that we.
Ha!
That woke me up. It's a shame that we have that. I mean, there's just no synergy anymore, so it's just kind of a sad situation.
But doesn't it all come down to like just paying attention and looking up for who you're near? Like if you don't want to go extreme and like whatever, just like when you're out, like pay attention to you and who you're around. Like that's what it comes down to.
And that's the thing, like I always thank the grocery people because we're lucky that we even get to go and do that kind of thing, and it's not just like completely, we can actually freely roam about and get our stuff, and they're masked up for us and everything. So I'm really appreciative of the people who are actually going through it and being there for us and that. And I'm more worried about people who, it's not even like we're gonna, I'm probably not gonna get it. I'm probably not gonna suffer from that, but I'm also taking precautions, but also just standing in solidarity with the people who are on the front lines and caring for people. It just is a disrespect to them, I think, if we're just brazen about just walking through the store. And we have like some of my neighbors are on the Nextdoor neighbor app, and they're like, oh well, I can do whatever I want. And I'm like, well, it's not about you. That's the most narcissistic thing, to think that it's just about you and that you're going to make it through. It's like these people are putting their lives on the line to service you. It's just so rude to me, and I think it's such a common sense thing. And I'm sure some of your listeners will disagree, and some people will totally agree, but I think it's just a common sense thing that even if we don't know what it is, or even if we do know what it is, it's real, it's out there, people are dying. We should just respect the situation and then and figure it out. And of course, we're all suffering a little bit, not working or whatever, but and some more than others for sure. But the faster that we kind of stick to it, I think the faster we can get out of it, and it just seems like, I don't know, if you think it's a hoax, you're just not going to listen to it anyway. And apparently the Democrats have closed down the entire world. So. Right.
The American Democrats have closed down the globe. Totally.
That's what I
doesn't make sense.
People are like, oh, she's crazy, don't talk to her. I'm like, okay, forget that.
And I'm not the voice of Democrats by any means. It's just that logic doesn't play.
Me either. And they're like, oh, you Dems are all the same. I'm like, listen, I don't pick sides. I'm just picking.
I was talking to someone the other day. Like, it really comes down to, like, I have MS. Everyone knows that. But, like, it comes down to, like, you don't need to touch everyone. You don't need to, like, envelope everyone. And, like, just be nice to who you're with. Like, think about them as people, as you would want to be treated. It's really simple. Like, when I first got sick, I was like, please don't touch me. And then people still were, like, grabby. And I'm like, don't touch me. And it's not because I don't want to hug and love on everyone. It's like everyone just take a step back. And that's what I feel like what everyone needs to do now. Just relax a little bit.
My neighbor has the same issue where it's like he can't be around anyone because he has really low immunities. Like he got like dengue fever. He was traveling and got like really gnarly stuff. And and people just keep coming close to him. They don't know how to tell people to back up, even though they've told him 100 times. And so I'm such a big mouth. I'll be like, distance, back it up. And she'll go in the house like, I don't even know how. They'll come up next to her baby, and she's like, oh my God, they just don't get it. They're just trying to be nice and neighborly, but people just won't leave her alone, and they won't leave him alone. So at one point, just to set an example, I'm like, I'm going to go inside. And then we all just got up and went inside to just kind of send the message, because he's really at risk, and he has like mold toxicity from another thing. And he was perfectly healthy a year ago, but so everyone's just trying to be his buddy, and he's like, he won't say, just back it up. And so I will.
That's tough.
But I'm kind of a big mouth, as you know.
It's hard to do, but now's the time. Like, we all get to, like, take ownership of what we need and what we want.
Yep.
And it's fine. Like, everyone can be respectful when you do it, but like, respect space for everyone.
This is a small globe when you
Yeah.
get down to it, and you know you're people who you said some people are like, well, it's my life and I can do whatever I want. That's totally true, but
Sure.
to be like a good person, that's
But
literally
not
one. That's one half of it. There's a big old ellipsis afterwards. It's dot dot dot. As long as you're not taking away from anybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those, you can do anything you want as long as I'm not ruining your fun or whatever it happens to be. My work, your
Yeah.
work.
We
It's
also
a good
have to wear
point.
shoes. We
Right.
have to wear shoes at a restaurant. Is that taking away your freedoms? No, just wear a goddamn shoe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You have to get in a line at Disneyland.
Yeah. So it just, to me, just makes so much sense, but I guess not everyone's feeling the same way, so.
I don't know. How do you feel about the conspiracies? Do you go into any of that stuff? I want to get into that with Daria in a few minutes. I know
I
she's
do,
about to call.
Yeah.
because I want to, be
You-
well-rounded, and I think, sure, maybe we don't know something, but we don't know exactly, and we don't know what's going, whatever. Sure, I look at their stuff because they're saying it, so I have to be able to speak on it when I argue. So,
Look, somebody might ask you on a podcast one day.
what?
Somebody might ask you on a podcast one day. You want to sound informed.
Well, yeah, I just feel like I watch all the news channels, but I do my own homework because I don't just rely on news or Facebook for my propaganda. So I just try to like be educated about it and just realize that maybe, let's say it's some big conspiracy theory or conspiracy that got out of hand and a lot of people are dying. Well, still we got a problem. So I just want to pay attention to that, and I could go on forever. Everyone's tuning out. They're like, yeah, I hate her.
No, I don't even know if anybody. Look, Daria is trying to call in. All right. Well, I just wanted to say thank you for doing this with us. It's a shakedown. This seemed to go pretty well. I could talk to you forever. Can we do maybe a whole hour like next week or something?
Sure.
Or whenever. It doesn't need to be a whole hour, but you know what I mean. An actual
show.
Now that we know that this works.
I'm here whenever you need.
You're awesome.
Did you get our T-shirt? You got our
Oh
T-shirt,
gosh,
right?
yes, and I'm going to do it on the show today, but I'll do it. You know what? Daria can wait. Yes. Let's do it right now. Let me open it up here.
I'm worried about Daria now.
No. Daria is the absolute best. If you don't know her, you should. She is the best. Daria Montijo is her real last name, but what's her Instagram?
Daria 222.
Oh, right. Easy to remember.
So Gary Schechner, the artist, that I think he's been on your show after me.
Oh,
you
shit.
invited, which is really sweet. We're doing T-shirts together, and he sent you a package.
Yep.
It's really.
I'm trying to get to it.
It's from both of us, but.
All right, keep talking. I'm trying to open it. I thought I could do this on the air, but there was no rehearsal whatsoever, so I didn't realize I thought I could just tear something off. Okay, here we go. Viewer mail, everybody. I forgot. Here. Okay. Sorry for the language. Pardon my language. Too much going on. All right.
Very exciting.
Yes, it is. It's very exciting. From TPG. All right. Oh, from this guy. First of all, I know you know this, and we sort of met him through you, but Gary, is just the sweetest.
Yeah, he's very sweet. Yeah.
For everybody else, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Yeah,
Gosh,
he's
what a
very
good
kind.
guy.
What a good guy.
But he
This
was
feels
like, we've
smaller
got to
and
get
lighter.
into the Ryans because you had commented on my shirt when I was there, and then you were so nice to invite him on, and he's gotten a lot of business out of just having being on your show, and even like when I first posted up his artwork, this is kind of how we kind of came together, and we're now doing gauges for every single, like a 964 and a 914 and every single gauge we can possibly do can be put on a T-shirt, so you can match it up to your car.
Well, I'm so happy. I love this, and this is actually custom, right? This is.
That one's actually, it's a limited edition because we printed those special then so we could have quality control.
Oh, I see.
And so those are he has a printer that we print out the ones that we want to do as like limited editions, and so he definitely wanted you to have those, and just because you had mentioned it on the show and been so supportive. So
That's
we really
so
appreciate
nice.
that.
You guys are so awesome. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
We
well,
love you.
thank
If there's anything else we can do for you, by all means, or we can do stuff together in the future, I hope.
Yeah.
Also, I
Yeah,
think
stay
Gary.
safe for me.
What's that?
Just stay safe and healthy for me. I
Uh,
appreciate that.
You also. We love you so much, that Porsche girl, Laura. I will talk to you soon, but let's do this, a little bit longer and more put together. This
I'm
was
here
really
for
fun.
You guys. As usual.
Vice
I'm here.
versa. All right, talk to you soon.
Bye.
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 See, I got a mouse here. I forget. I'm reaching across, but I have all the tools. I just don't know how to use any of them. Now, Daria. I'm sorry, Daria. Daria, I'm sorry. Is everything working? Do you still hear everything?
Yeah.
Everything's good? We do appear to be live. It's kind of, I'm still
As far
just
as
sort of
I
amazed.
know.
There are different things, though, and I'm going to get this going because I didn't tell you before, if you didn't notice. But there we go. Do you see anything different?
The behind me?
No. The cameras have red lights on them now.
I did notice that.
You're so funny. Goodness. All right. So thank you to Gary for this stuff. I think we might be doing some stuff with Gary as well. I know some marketing things. There was all sorts of talks before the break, before the world got nuts, and hopefully we're still going to do that stuff. All right. Good. Daria. Daria, we love you. Back to that. Sorry, Daria. Squirrel.
I mean, really.
Oh, okay. How hard is it for you over there?
I'm a nightmare.
She
I own it.
is. She was like, I don't know how to do this. That's why everybody calls in, and she did twice. Daria, I'm sorry. Oh, look at that. Call her back. Yeah, Daria's the best. She is. Daria,
love you.
we're sorry. We're sorry. We went long.
Aloha, my friend.
Hello.
Aloha.
Aloha to you. Where are you right now? You look like you could be in Hawaii.
Maybe that was planned. I'm upstairs. I'll go downstairs in a little bit to show you what Saturday insanity looks like at our house. But I am so happy to see you guys.
Oh, well, we feel the same.
Same.
It's feelings mutual.
Same. It's so bright where you are, but you look, it's so good to see your face.
It's pretend night here.
On the inside, it's very, very dark. Don't let the brightness fool you.
How are you? How are you coping, Mrs. Ryan? What's it called?
How you go?
How you coping?
Well, Mrs. Ryan taught me not too long ago, and I think rightfully so, and helped prepare me. You don't ever ask anyone, like, how you doing? No, you don't automatically do that shit anymore. And she was way ahead of the game, and so rightfully so. So I'll tell you how today has been.
Okay. I'm gonna try to go live at the same time.
But I have to say that I know it's totally overbearing and whatnot, but I adore you guys and I miss you so terribly, and I feel like the last couple of years, this is what we do now. There's no boundaries, no barriers, no script. Hi, baby. Thank you. Wait, show everyone your shirt, actually. So there you go. You got a little Porsche there.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so
nice
cool.
blue car. Looks like Bob Miller's
Did I get
car.
that for you? Yes. All right, I'll come down a little bit. Okay. All right. I love you. I just have to say, like, I feel like we've actually been preparing for some of this.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Right?
Go on.
Not saying I'm relishing it, because I'm not, because there's a lot of bad, but there's also a lot of amazingness. So, I don't know. I want to say thank you to you guys, because I was looking back at the pictures from a couple of years ago, and when I first came on the show, it was about 2 years ago in May, and we did a couple shows back to back. And now I've
Life with the
decided-
Ryans.
Right. And so I've decided I only show up in times of change, because I was one of the last shows you guys had before the new set.
Oh, you're a transition friend.
Uh-huh, I
Whoa.
I'm an in-betweener.
You're totally
in-betweener.
right. Were you our first after we got the set? Like you were really...
No, right before. Like I think I was maybe there. We did 2 back to back, and there was one that was right before, maybe even the last before, or one before the last, when you got the Letterman set.
But didn't you then come back with the set or no? I mean, have you ever even been here? I mean, it's a real deal now. But...
I must have.
Okay.
I
think
so.
I did a shakedown and then maybe one more after that.
We're Instagram live right now as well. Hi to let's see, James Cornish and let's see, Ramsey Potts. Hi Ramsey.
Hi Ramsey.
It's Ramsey Potts. Hi Ramsey.
I have like 0 boundaries now, so whatever. Like I literally just don't give an F anymore.
Good for you though. Isn't that part of growing up? And I mean that's how we're going to get through all this, right?
Yeah, I find it actually quite liberating because the whole, like we talked about this before, right? Like the move to authenticity was very pronounced. We knew that was coming. We knew that people were kind of tired of all the slick marketing and whatnot. And so to have this where everyone has to be on Zoom or whatever, and there's just a very low threshold for all kinds of, mistakes and whatnot. You just can't be polished anymore.
Yeah.
I find that if you don't have that energy going toward like making who you are, then there's like all this extra energy to play with.
We're kind of feeling, yes, wholly agree with that. And we're sort of trying to figure out, we've always been sort of thinking, oh, well, we want to get to a place where this is sort of energetically, tonally like Life with the Ryans. And it's almost like we were sort of caught in this loop that we created, that this break gave us a break from us so that we could almost go back to baseline. Like even us, we were preaching, we were doing all of this stuff and we were preaching it way ahead, like you said, a couple years ago. But gosh, it's almost like we were so far ahead that there was such a long gap that we... We're like, oh gosh, did we miss it?
I read something the other day that was like, in order to communicate, you need to first have a connection so that they listen and you can transfer information. And that's what I feel like before we weren't connected to the right thing, like the right tether, like the messages we were saying, calm down and authenticity is important and being yourself is important. But the right people weren't hearing it. Now it's like everyone has to hear it. If you don't wear pants on a Zoom and someone calls you out, that's okay. But know that just know that that might happen.
Supreme Court level. I'm pretty sure that dropped the bar for everyone. Like,
right?
You don't have to worry really about anything ever again. Like, oh, I'm not wearing pants. It's fine. It's fine.
This is kind of fun going live though, because
so much.
This is kind of fun because you don't need an agenda or anything. You know what I mean? For me, the whole thing has sort of been the fun of like, oh, putting on a show or whatever. It's fun. Oh, hi everybody. Sorry. Speaking of putting on a show, don't mind me.
Do you have people behind you? Where'd you go?
There's too many. I'm doing too many shows at once here. I forgot.
You got a butt shot from like Cam B, right?
Oh, I gave it to everybody for quite a while, I think. Sorry, everyone. Let's just go wide. We'll just keep it wide for now. Keep it wide while we're in here. Oh my gosh.
I have this 2-week window where basically like I've found the next.
We're on YouTube, everybody. Come to YouTube.
The next thing for whatever someone has to buy, right? So I've been like kind of prepping a little and tracking a little. So at this point, we are at the 2-week window where everyone needs to stock up on their wide-angle lenses and their long lenses, right? Because everything's going to be...
Because everyone's getting chubby, and no one wants to take pictures up close anymore.
That's right.
How do you feel on this, Daria?
I was ahead on the bidet counter, but now I'm on the wide-angle lenses.
Have you guys noticed any change in your physical? I mean, people aren't as active, right? We're not able to go out and all the stuff. I mean, unless you've got a home gym and your husband's a trainer.
And
are you asking if I'm fatter than I was before?
No, I cleverly asked your family if they were fatter.
Okay, so my husband have been doing. Just want to make that real clear, crystal. They've been doing P90X, which is super old school, but they've been like really
That's
really
hard.
regular on that, which is
I think that's a
really
friend of
hard.
ours. A friend of ours really knew him with Tony somebody, right? Tony Horton or something. Is that
Yes,
P90X?
yes.
Yeah, that's a friend of ours. It's funny.
That's
Oh,
really funny.
yeah.
My husband had done it many years back, and now is kind of inducting our son into it. But they're
It's
super
really
regular.
hardcore, isn't it?
It is. It's a little insane, but I don't care. Like as long as they're active, because the kids went from like major activity to nil, right? Like all their music lessons stayed normal, but all their physical stuff went, into the, no.
Like all the sports and stuff, like all that went
Yeah.
away. So that's
So
just
we're more concerned
kaput.
about them, but they're actually keeping us a little bit more active than vice versa, which is good. So it's been good. I could do better for sure, but I'm kind of over beating myself up.
Yeah, now we're talking.
I'll
That's
take a little
smart.
pass on that.
good.
So
Where are you in your home right now? Are you in an office or a library?
no, this is how ridiculous I am with that's my
Oh,
nightstand.
bedroom, sure. Oh, well, she's a reader. We
I
got a
might
reader.
I might be a little bit of a reader. Sorry.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
It's annoying. Although it's been the last few weeks, it's been hard to focus on stuff and concentrate. So I'm more beating myself up about not reading as regularly as I used to. But again, like I gotta give myself a pass.
Why don't you let
okay.
that go? And I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you huge kudos for the books that I see. That's impressive.
Can you see? Like, or is everyone like zooming in?
I'm not, but I asked someone the other day. I'm like, I want a recommendation for a book. I don't want a history book. I don't want a maudlin, sad, like heavy, whatever. But like, I don't want a dumb book either. So those are hard to
It's got to
find.
be like just the right altitude.
Yeah,
Right?
you know.
Can I know I don't have like cards or anything, but can I ask you guys how you're doing? What's going on? I want to hear.
You don't have cards.
I don't have
You're a
cards.
riot. This is a shakedown. You can talk about anything you want. I'm adjusting cameras and stuff over here.
I was like this close to trying to find bubbles. So if I blew bubbles on my end, if you would set
Oh,
bubbles
you're
out
so
on your end.
funny. I didn't push anything.
You're hilarious.
We'll have all that ready next week.
Okay. Because I felt like if I set something on fire and threw it off screen here, you could set the smoke up on that end.
Oh, I love that.
Oh my god.
We have to give the people something experiential, Jay. Like it's gotta be real.
What makes something like? How do you get that? How do you translate that through camera? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
real. I don't know.
No,
I think
I
it's
mean like
part
bubbles or something
vulnerability and
fun
part
like that. How does
yeah.
that translate?
Oh, like how does that come across to others?
Yeah, through the screen. I mean, like, is it? I love that stuff. That's why we have it. But like, does anyone ever think or talk about it? Like, we don't push the button very often.
Okay, so I really like it. I think it would be cool if you did it with someone on FaceTime, right? Like seriously, if someone blew bubbles on one end.
Oh, I
came
see
out
your
on your
point.
end?
Like with a straw on your side.
Uh-huh.
I see your point. Well, we can pretend, right?
I know. There's again no rules.
How about, you know what? I love your idea. Let's see if it works the other way. No, there's no bubbles on your side.
There's no bubbles. But okay. So do you want to see what Saturday looks like?
Sure,
At
I
my
keep forgetting
house?
it's Saturday.
I did too.
It's
Live from
insane.
Toluca Lake.
All right, hold on.
Oh, look at her. She's got a 2-camera setup also.
Ooh.
Oh, she froze.
That's
Uh-oh.
the cleaning caddy.
Oh,
Right.
look at this. You got a drummer on the mezzanine.
This is like worth the suburban mortgage payment.
Got to work on those triplets, but he's got it. If he had a kick drum, he'd be set.
He's got more. It's just this is what's on the landing.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's my peeps.
That is so awesome.
That
And-
is really cool,
and
Daria.
Great job on your home build, considering we had no idea that was going on.
Yeah.
I
Great
couldn't hear
job.
that at all.
Great job on the sound.
Incredible.
Those are my boys.
But also, how wonderful to have that energy in your home. To me, I love
It's
that.
The music is saving me.
Yeah.
The music is saving me. There's no doubt about it.
Are-
Like
Go ahead.
it's yeah.
Do you all still play games and everything together?
Yeah, we do. I'm you know. It's like, you know, shit and sugar on the same spoon, right? So, on one hand, it's like the most claustrophobic, scary, terrifying thing. You wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, what's happening? I don't know. What's it going to be for my kids? And like, terror, can't breathe. And then on the other hand, we're incredibly lucky that we have this time with our kids and in this space where, you know, we can make memories together and be together and, you know, just try to keep it positive and grow ourselves and hopefully help them a little bit. So it's both, and that's growth, right? Like that's movement. So I'm insanely grateful for that. And well, you know what I was telling Mike the other day was, you can say you're grateful all you want, and you can know that you feel it, but boy, if this doesn't give you a very visceral feeling of that you learn it like in your bones as opposed to just saying it. So
And that's been How You Coping?
oh, I'm sorry, did you just ask me
No,
what
I'm
the
just
was?
kidding. That was such a wonderful wrap up. That was just lovely.
Hi, Mike.
There he is. What's up, mister?
Hello, Ryans.
There's Michael in the back. Montillo,
Hello,
you look
hello.
fabulous. You look like this has been treating you well.
My quarantine workout gear.
For
Look-
P90X.
I thought you just came from band practice.
Also, workout gear works for band practice now too. There's no rules anymore. Of course. Potato chips for breakfast? Absolutely.
This apparently this must be their family mantra, because something the other day with schedules and whatever. And she's like, "Oh yeah, the new thing is no rules."
I've noticed that from your post. It's like no one cares anymore.
But we are building character. Like, we have made them clean toilets and do homeschooling and mom school stuff. Like, they're not off the hook. They're reading and they're doing stuff, but also no rules.
Yeah. Well, what? I mean, are you going to work, or are you in the house all? We just asked the Porsche girl the same thing. She's at least going to work. She's able to leave a little bit. Are you guys? I mean, Michael, your work can probably be telecommuting.
We don't leave.
We don't really
I
leave.
work from home. I'm working like 12 hours a day now.
Oh, whoa.
It's not. Well, because we're trying to keep up with. So, all of these government programs for funding for small business, the loans and everything, those get run through the banks, right? So the government actually doesn't administer them; they just provide the money for them, and so we're all being crushed by millions of loan applications that
Right.
need to get processed immediately because these people need the funding so they can make payroll. So, like 2 weeks, that needs to go out the door. So yeah, we've been working.
Wow.
We're at home, but we're working.
Yeah.
Sure.
Unbelievable.
We were lucky enough that I was remote already for the last 6.5 so years, and he's gone in and out to the office and from home because his office isn't that far. So now we're both hunkered down and working from home, and we're like very happy to have jobs and be working. And then we've got the kids set up to do their stuff remotely through the house.
Couldn't help but notice the head bob. Remotely.
Totally unprepared for the situation.
Yeah.
They're assigning work on Monday that's due Thursday, and my kid's like Monday at 9:30 in the morning. I'm done.
Time to go sledding. Wait, where do we live? What?
Right.
So basically, they're getting a lot of pop culture education. Like, he's watched all 9 Star Wars films.
Oh,
the
hang
last
on. This is
couple of
cool.
days.
This is cool.
Yeah.
This is what
No,
every...
it's-
So
there's
hang on.
an
So
upside.
maybe we're turning the world into every kid who had an ailment when they were a kid. Like every kid with a club foot or a fucking lung defect or anything where they had to stay home and watch television.
Right.
Yes.
And then it creates this sort of a... All right, so this will be my audience in the future. Fantastic.
Yeah.
We're going to be okay.
Yes. Here we
We're
go.
indoctrinating these quarantine kids with our youth, right? Like,
Right.
Flight of the Navigator, man.
Oh, we watched that recently. That's a great movie.
It actually really held up. Did you know the kid, what he went on to do?
No.
The actor, you mean?
What he went to go on to do? No.
He became a bank robber.
Come on. Are you serious? Or are you putting me on?
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
Really? That's such a
There's
shame
things
to
to
me because the
I wanted to be like, yeah, he's the guy in the Avengers movie, but he's kind of in the background. No, he went.
He robbed a bank.
well, I mean, I think didn't even Gary Coleman, I think, robbed a bank. But to me, that movie was so great. Sarah Jessica Parker's in it barely.
Oh,
She-
she's fantastic.
What? I didn't even realize she was in it. I was like, is
She's
this...
the mail girl.
And then the she works at NASA. And then the it's such a great movie. And then the spaceship is Pee Wee Herman.
Yes. Yes.
Paul
I
Rubens.
called that. I was like, yes.
Is he
I
like-
said
wait,
that.
It's Paul Rubens who plays
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee
I
Herman's
heard
his
it.
character.
I didn't even watch
Is
it.
it Paul Rubens or is it somebody doing a Paul Rubens impression?
No,
I think
no, it's Paul. No, it's you're on the scent though. It's Paul Rubens trying not to sound like Paul Rubens.
Okay.
Which apparently is the equivalent of a bad impersonator.
That's right. Oh, I love that you called that out though. I love that, and the story on that movie holds up for sure. The whole it's Back to the Future from a different type of thing.
It holds
Yeah.
up 100%. My son was completely into it. He
Yeah.
got carried on for the whole thing, even though none of that would have happened today. The technology, you just hit your phone and follow my friends and all that stuff. I mean,
Did the kids enjoy it though?
oh, absolutely.
What about what about Explorers for the same reason? Do you remember that one with River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke?
Oh, right.
Where they build the spaceship in their backyard out of the tilt-a-whirl and everything. That's a great one.
That's a good one.
I will tell you what was interesting to watch, because we have been doing a lot of these throwbacks. We watched Reality Bites
Oh,
the
really?
other day.
No way. Did it hold up?
Wild. First of all, you should not take any life lessons from Reality Bites. But if you're
Oops.
a woman, but the soundtrack is still amazing. And also, you were like, oh, that's why Ethan Hawke was such a big deal. Like, I'd forgotten. I didn't know. I couldn't remember. Next up on the list is Encino Man.
Oh no.
Oh, come on.
I
All
know.
right.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's all right. I mean, maybe it's good.
Going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. But I feel.
I hope it's great.
like
Please
we-
let
it
us
won't
know
be.
how it
It
is.
won't be.
Maybe it's awesome.
It won't be.
Is that
She's
Brendan
already predicting
Fraser?
it won't be.
It wasn't
Okay.
good the first time.
Neither are we.
All right. So enough about us. How are you guys doing? What's going on with you?
Oh, we're fine. I mean, we're opening viewer mail.
Let's see what you got.
Well, there's some new stuff from Telefunken. Sent more stuff, Mrs. Ryan. That's a
Yay.
small one. I think that must be for you. And
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, I love this nice dove gray.
Oh,
Very
sweet.
nice. And I got to open this too, because it's from somebody we all like very much, Mr. Porsche's Andrew Florin.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. He sent us a lovely little thing here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. And it's a See, I always try to do these things on the air but sometimes I really should do them ahead of time. Dear Jay and Nicole. Is this right? Is that cameras? Oh gosh, I'm on a hold. That's what I'm sorry. Okay. Guys, Be just a moment. Shakedown show.
These are
Sorry,
the
Mrs.
best
Ryan. There you
shows.
go.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Oh, the
thanks.
ones where I'm squirming the entire time? Great.
I find those highly entertaining, I just want to say.
Dear Jay and Nicole, I hope you're both doing well and staying safe. Thank you both for your contributions to the Porsche community and simply being you. See you both soon. Take care. Andrew Porsche's, and he sent, look at this, he did a bunch of stickers. We have his, I don't think I can get it right now. There's the one, well, maybe I can. The one little spot there on the wall, Mrs. Ryan, way up there. You can see it. Right above Mrs. Ryan, all the way up there on the left. You can see a black and white of this. He did a bunch of color shots. That's very cool. I'm going to put them here. Sorry for covering you guys for just a second.
That's so cool.
We can't tell, it's fine.
We'll figure out the close-ups. I
That
haven't
is
figured
so
this out yet.
cool.
There we go. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's as easy as it could be. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you
Super
so
cool.
much. That's
Been
awesome.
all over the place. Super cool. And then before, in case you are just tuning in, guys, remember, they gave us from
that's
Gary
sweet.
and that Porsche girl. Mrs. Ryan got one as well. The Gauge Art.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was good stuff. I like those.
Really, really cool. In answer to your question, I'm fine, but Mrs. Ryan should probably really answer, I think. So I'll let her take it away. How have you been doing, Mrs. Ryan? Hey, Mrs. Ryan, here's a segment that Daria likes to call, How You Coping?
I can rephrase it.
No.
I can rephrase it for various-
Not unlike you, we've been like living and working at home for a while. So that we're used to, but it's stressful, the panic that everyone else has that they're putting on everyone. I feel that more. But it's tricky out there, and the mental health is taking a huge focus on for people that are making sourdough. And that's awesome because it's letting people explore themselves more and figure out their own baseline so that they're not jerks when they go outside and don't know.
Oh, good point.
So I feel like through this whole thing, everyone's figuring out like what your purpose is, what you can add to the community, anything. Not everyone's a doctor. Not everyone can go serve in the front lines and do whatever. But like, I know a lot about psychology and communication, and I can, if I keep my head on, I can talk about that stuff, and that's what people want to talk about right now. So
Yeah.
I'm holding on to that as a solace of like there's at least a little bit that I can do, and people have reached out to me to ask questions like that, and that feels good in a weird way. So I'll take it.
It's like your Be My Eyes, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, whenever my app rings for me to help a blind person find Comet under the sink or something so that they,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, whatever the heck.
There was someone that came up with one of the guys to Newcomb's up in the drive, and she has a kind of cancer. And she was asking me questions. She didn't know a lot about like physical health and stuff. And we got to have a different kind of conversation that's not like, what bolt did you put on under the hood? Like, you know. So it's we're all learning out different things about everything and ourselves and each other, and it's fine. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I've found myself going from like feeling like a crazy person in a sane world to a sane person in a crazy world, which doesn't really say much for me.
Own it, man.
But that's, or the world for that matter. But there's been for sure a bit of a flip, and I'm not saying I'm like rock solid. I have definitely like I feel like I'm surfing.
Congratulations, Daria, you
Like-
did it!
more like drowning because I don't know how to surf, but like pretending how to surf. Yeah, but the level of conversation has shifted because we've basically dropped like all the way down onto the base level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I'm like, I can deal with this. Like I can do this. Every few days I have to kind of reset myself, but it just feels realer to me, and that's sad, but also stabilizing at the same time.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
It does, and it actually seems like you thought about it, and I'm very, very impressed with you. I think the folks who are actually thinking about it and figuring out how they feel and how this all sits with them and stuff are the ones who are going to make it out okay. I think a lot of people we're at the 2-month mark where a lot of people are starting to implode. And I don't mean financially. I don't even necessarily mean people who had mental health problems. I just mean like it's a thing. We're at a psychological place where the things that the realities do start to unravel a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. And whatever you did hold on to so stinking tightly that you were so sure was important, sometimes turns out to not be important at all. And then that little speck of nothing that you didn't give a time of day to becomes like the most beautiful, important thing that you are the most grateful for because it's whatever, it's just different or whatever.
It's the plastic bag in American Beauty, if you were paying attention,
Do you want to see the most beautiful thing I've ever photographed?
Holding their breath.
Yeah.
These last 2 months, people have been holding their breath. And now, as we go day by day further, certain people are running out of breath. But we're all holding our breath, hoping it will come back.
Oh, that's a good point.
It was. And not actually adapting, just... If I can just get through another day or two, another week, another month.
That doesn't work.
No, you gotta exhale and be like, I'm not holding on to shit.
Right.
People are starting to run out of breath.
Yeah.
Right. Mount St. Helens is about to blow up.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's going to be a fine old day, or however that song goes. What about creatively? I mean, what are you guys doing creatively? Music seems to be big for your family. I guess we knew that already. And no, I mean, not from a few minutes ago. Are you guys leaning into that more so because? Not that I want you to start a family band or anything, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
It's like we're like this fucking close to being the Partridge Family. No.
You're going to have to clean up that language, lady.
My sourdough is kind of kicking ass, I have to say.
Again, if we want to go back to the am I fat question, it's directly related to the sourdough issue.
I only asked about that because I have 5 pounds of Little Debbie's on me. So that's why.
The music is huge, both in I feel like it kind of helps reset me. I also feel the greatest sadness for the few concerts and whatnot that we had bought tickets to and planned. Like I joke, but like that's my religion.
Yeah.
And that is the saddest to me, but it's also the thing that's keeping me afloat. So
yeah, seeing the Hollywood Bowl close for the entire season was like that
gutted
She
me.
hasn't missed a Hollywood Bowl season since literally before she was born.
Yeah, I was in utero at the bowl every summer since I was, a being in any format. So to me, like, and I know everyone's got something where it's like, oh wow, that's not happening, or this is something I have to give up. For me, it was the bowl, and so that's just my space. But I recognize that it's different for everyone, for sure. There's something, right, like that you have to grieve over and be like, wow, that's not happening. Maybe it won't ever happen. We know, like, that's the control you have to let go of. So
we asked our last guest, Laura, do you know anyone personally who's either gotten infected and or passed away from it? And there's no, you don't have to get too personal. I'm just curious if it's...
We don't have anyone, knock on wood, we don't have anyone terribly close. A grandmother of a friend of mine did pass away from it, East Coast. We had a friend that was sick that did not test, that we thought maybe had it, but we don't know for certain. And that's been it, which seems actually quite distant in comparison. I'm not super optimistic. I have feelings that we haven't entered into a big second spike that will probably come, as people kind of relax a little bit and can't deal with being in. No, I'm not passing judgment at all.
No, it's okay.
But historically speaking, and just kind of looking at how this stuff tends to go, it would be a bit of a miracle if we got out of it without having any of us or anyone not, closely not affected. But
yeah,
I do very much believe that it's real.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, my grandfather died from it. I mean, I don't know if he was also of old age, but I mean, it was.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just well, between the last show and this one, I think I announced that he had it on the last show, and then he's
It
since
happened
buried.
real fast, and then it was done.
Yeah,
I'm so
and
sorry.
it was.
I didn't know that.
No, thank you. It's okay. But they did one of those, like only my aunt who was with him when he died was able to go to the gravesite kind of thing. So they did it on a Zoom with a phone, So we actually were at Newcomb's Ranch, tuned in on the Wi-Fi just on the bench out front last Friday. I don't know why the hell I just told you that. Just as far as dealing with people, and then I don't want to out him because I don't know if he's talking about it, but somebody from the Porsche community we know got through it, but he and his wife both got it and said that it was just the most horrific thing ever in life, and he wouldn't wish it on anyone. Somebody we all know. I just don't want to say personally. Yeah.
No, fair enough. And I mean, like I've always said that the universe has a wicked sense of humor. Right? So this, how do we get everyone to love each other and want to be near each other? Well, don't let them near each other.
Yeah.
How do we get them to appreciate,
Absence
their
makes
parents,
the heart
even
grow
though their
fonder.
parents are a pain in the ass? Well, don't let them see their parents for a while. It's the deepest irony, but
I was going to say, the older we get, the decisions get more and more ironic.
it's just
Don't you see? Don't you find?
Alanis Morissette just totally had it figured out, and we didn't know it.
What are you talking? We all knew it. We are that generation. We are the jagged little pill generation, and we look like it. We act like it. We are it. We absolutely are.
I'm so sorry to hear about your granddad too.
Oh no,
of generations.
That's why I worked it in. He was the greatest generation. He was World War II. I mean, he went through World War II.
Yeah.
He fought in World War II. He got 3 or 4 Purple Hearts. Pretty cool stuff.
I mean, I miss that generation, and I know there's only really a handful of them. My grandparents were also of that generation, and the things they lived through were, they were badass and also humble and also made of love. And I just don't know how you replicate. I don't know how you replicate that. I'm grateful that I knew them, and I think, I see that with you as well. So
thank you.
They put knives under their pillows, but then still later on in their lives became these optimistic, just forces of life, at least in my experience with my grandparents and the friends of my grandparents.
Yes. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's very interesting to me, and I always try to figure out what the hell is it? And the only thing I've ever been able to, when I look at the generation as a culture, a mass, they seem to be very religious. So they had their faith. It's a generation of faith, perhaps. Do you think that's part of it in any way? Because
they did, but in a very different way than the faith of these younger generations have it. It feels to me.
Was less dogmatic. It was seemingly like it was about freedom of faith than like repeating dogma.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's maybe what I guess faith is kind of maybe supposed to be, of more like of a celebration of who you are versus a bowing down to something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or following of an ideology or a leader specifically.
Right, it's almost like those are the breadcrumbs. This is the line you're supposed to follow. Oh, this is the life you're supposed to lead, but none of it needs to be literal.
There was also great personal responsibility that I think we've kind of given up, right? Like we expect others to. I'm again like.
No, this is good stuff. You're right. Please keep going.
But someone else should solve it for me. I'm greatly wronged. I'm whatever it is, and they were very much about. It's in my control. I have a personal responsibility. I have moral obligations. I have some way to kind of work through
That's
it.
key, though, too. It wasn't just about I'm all in it for myself and I have a personal responsibility for my own success or failure or prosperity, but there was an obligation to my fellow man and a morality to the race that perhaps isn't as strong in the definition of the faithful today.
I agree. A movement towards the greater good versus just, I'm fighting for myself. None of that World War II shit would have ever worked if everybody was out there fighting for themselves. They all were fighting for something else. Now, I'm not a war guy at all. I mean, I studied it, but I'm not pro-war. But if you look at all the pieces and zoom out, it's one of those where it's fundamentally, it comes I don't know. This is where I get down to religion again. Yes, I think you're entirely right. And they were not entitled to anything because they came from nothing. Whatever they had, they made. You know what I mean? Whether it was a family
That's
or
right.
or a fortune, whatever they had, they made.
And I'm sure there's factions difference in the middle of all of it, but it seemed much more like you're faithful or not. It's not like this happened and then this happened and then that person did that. It's like no one cares. That becomes literal and fighting about literal things that no one can prove, so it doesn't matter.
My grandfather had no time for bullshit.
Right.
No time for bullshit.
It's
It was
either
all
have
about
faith or you
compression.
don't. It's really simple, and I think if we can get back to that and just have faith in whatever you want, just don't be a good person. You said that to me one time when the first time I saw you after years. You were like,
I think it was "Don't be an ass."
"Don't be a dick." I have not
Don't be a
forgotten
dick.
those words, but like that's so true. It's so simple, and like tell everyone that. So important.
By the time I was, 10, 12 years old, I understood that about my grandfather. His priorities were very specific, and they were not to be wavered, and they were not to be fed with bullshit. He wanted his stereo equalizer set precisely for the particular record he was playing.
Don't touch the high five. Do not touch the high five.
Don't touch the high five.
And he had an absolute metric ton of frozen meatballs. He'd feed them up and feed them to his Roadrunner. They would come by the house every morning to collect its meatballs. The bird, Roadrunner.
A real Roadrunner.
Yeah, absolutely. Very healthy and quite rotund Roadrunner.
We have gone so long because I'm enjoying this conversation.
But those are the priorities, and he stuck to them day by day.
Yeah, they were definitely a providing generation, that's for sure, huh?
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those, like, all of a sudden everything your grandparents ever said makes sense. They're like, eat chicken soup.
It's
you
all
should
true.
Sew your own clothes.
Carrots
Like,
are good for your eyes. It's all true.
Totally 100% true.
You are what you eat.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they knew what was going on.
How about
And
if
they
you don't
just
have anything nice to
a
say,
little
don't
bit.
say anything at all. Like anything that they used to say.
Yeah.
It's all
Right.
accurate.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask you guys, what do you think some of the, like, maybe the top 2 or 3 good things coming out of this will be for each of you?
Oh, for us personally?
Yeah.
Well,
you first.
personally or just like on the whole.
Well, can I go first this
Yeah.
time? I have been struggling, but creatively struggling, because we do a thing, and I'm like been so hardcore set on staying in line to do this thing. Okay, well, we can't do it right now. We're different because we have the people here. We have this whole like eye to eye, this in-person conversation. And I have always been fighting what we're doing here now because I was never able to get it to a place where I felt comfortable, like, oh, this is something like we do in the new way, whatever. So I personally have really been struggling, and that is always a good thing for anybody who's even a little bit artistic, because if as long as you're disciplined enough to break through it.
Yeah.
Because it forces you to do things that you wouldn't have done previously. It forces you to look in places you wouldn't have looked, or it forces you to look at something in a way that you didn't previously. And sometimes it's as simple as changing something from this to this, and you're like, oh, all of a sudden, it's not a square peg round hole anymore. It fits perfectly. So for me, it's been the struggle, and what I feel like in the end will be overcoming the struggle to make a product that I actually really like, that will be easier for us, more sustainable, totally more palatable for the audience. Just in general, something that we can both be proud of and can hopefully support us. So I think that it's almost like this Great Awakening was the thing that hopefully we needed. And I don't even know what that means. It's just that this whole thing is a soup, and it's done when it's done. And I've never made it before, so I don't know how it works.
But, I mean, you mixed it for 2+ years to find your voice and your cadence, right? Now it's just a matter of like the delivery vehicle, really.
I mean, I think you're right about that, but fundamentally, as a artist, I have a hard time because I'm trying to do something different at all times because that's my own Jay Ryan hiccup. I just simply won't go down the highway when the crust exists, even though it takes 2 hours longer, or the one to get to San Francisco. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all of this is ridiculous, and we're going to lean into it even further because, to me, it's nutso that, and this is not an exaggeration, I mean this as of now, and I've got more tweaks to do in the lighting and all those sorts of things, but we have the best production value of any show in production today, period. Even with all these hiccups and the things that bug me.
Literally.
We have the best feed, period.
That's right.
And it's not out of like oh boy, what's that matter if nobody's watching it? It doesn't. I guess it doesn't matter. But somehow it makes Jay Ryan feel very proud inside.
No,
of like,
but
oh, you did something that's really neat.
Within a few weeks, stuff shifted so fundamentally that and remember texting you guys about this, that the setup that you guys have is infinitely better and better sustainable for the new environment than anything that Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, any fucking one has.
Basements.
And
With Yeti Blues.
Right. And it wasn't by accident, by the way. It's not like you didn't spend a couple of years doing it, and you literally have Dave's set in there too, which is the Ryan set. It is not Dave's set anymore, by the way.
Well, hang on. I don't know about that. Probably needed that card. That's why. Well, thank you.
Do we need
for
to
that.
order you some more blue
But
cards?
seriously, I really needed that. So.
But that, I mean, it's not by accident that you just spent all this time building this, and then you are teed up. I mean, it's just a matter of following what you want now at this point, because all the rules are gone, and you have the production value, and you have the setup, and you have the people, and you have the heart. So it's what you want now. You don't even have the rules to follow anymore.
Yeah.
And by the way, what you want is what everyone needs.
You're so awesome, Daria.
I love that lady.
Thank you, guys.
God, it's so
Michael
good
and
to see
Daria,
you.
you guys are so awesome. Thank you. I feel like that's a great place to end.
100% true.
We love you so much. I would love it if we could do this more regularly. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to be it's almost an hour. We talked to you for like 40 minutes. This is crazy. It doesn't need to be that every time, although I would every time. But can we maybe do something like this regularly? We always talked about it in the old days, but we weren't capable, of this type of setup, and this is quite easy.
West Coast feed.
Oh, Michael in. I like it.
Oh, and that's that. Put it in. All right. Well, we love you guys so much. Thank you so much for taking the time on a Saturday. Please love to the kids and keep the music going and just stay you. You guys are so wonderful. And whether you realize it or not, Daria, you're quite inspiring yourself, and you're touching people too.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. And now I'm gonna say I didn't get Nicole's answer. So
Oh, shoot. Gosh. Please, Mrs.
Ryan.
Jim Carrey said a long time ago, like, I hope everyone gets rich and famous or whatever they want, so they know what they want. And that's all I hope for everyone, is that they figure out what they really want. So I think that's what's going to come out of all this.
You
I
too?
love you
You
too.
personally?
I'm figuring out what I really want,
awesome.
and
Just making sure that was for you too. That's so awesome.
For me
You're
too.
great. Ah, look at you. Don't cry, Daria.
I'm not crying. You're crying. Okay, I'm crying. Fuck it. Just a little bit though. That's fine.
we're
All right,
related.
you're the
It's fine.
best. I'm going to use my new mouse and shut this FaceTime. Bye, Michael. Bye,
right.
Daria. We
So
love
good
you.
to see you guys.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
They're
Oh,
awesome.
Mrs. Ryan, that's so great. We went crazy long. We were supposed to go an hour. It's been an hour and a half, almost. Hour and 20 minutes. Did we do everything we were supposed to do? I think we tested all the equipment. I don't know. We could certainly do one of these again. It was much easier than I anticipated.
It was fun.
I hope everybody,
Thanks for doing it.
if anybody watched, I have no idea if they did. I forgot to look into YouTube and everything. We'll do that next time too. But thanks if you did. Check it out. We've been having fun in here. It feels good to be back. We
Good to
really,
talk
really,
to
really
everyone.
missed everybody. We'll see everybody whenever we see everybody. This is no joke. It's still weird here in California. I know some parts of the country, some parts of the world are opening up and stuff, but it's still weird here. And in Los Angeles, we're told, oh, we got 3 more months. So we're sitting tight, except for Breakfast Club and stuff. But we'll be here. We love you. So Instagram, Porsche Life, 111, Mrs. Ryan, 111.
111.
The J Ryan, 111, I think.
No.
Just
I
the
think
J
it's
Ryan.
just the J Ryan.
Although, yeah, you don't need to follow that one. And that's it. YouTube. LateNightPlayset.com. That's on there. LateNightPlayset.com's on there. YouTube and some other stuff. Whatever. See you next time. Thanks again. This was fun. Shakedown Saturday.
Yeah. Thank you.
We should do the goodbyes. We should all be standing out front while the music plays. Like so. Good night. And please now enjoy Saturday Night Live.